This is Irontrader. It is Sunday night. I'm going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at Ethereum, gold and silver, and crude oil and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy any stock about ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now let's take a little peek, see what's going on here. Okay. Now, you can see here how this 8-day here has been holding up very, very strongly. And this 21-day here, you can see here how we had that tweezer top. We went right into it, and we ran right into it again. We can't get above, and that's going to be very, very key, okay? Now, you can see the 8-day here. See how this is rounded up, and it's kind of like flattening out here. We got to have that 8-day cross that 21-day. Then we can push it up to possibly up to that 21-day, if not even higher, okay? But right now, let's look at the downside. We're watching this Friday's low here, okay? You're looking at 88,405. That's going to be very, very key. That's going to be your next support level. Then what we'll do is we can come right down to this level right here, okay? Then you're looking at that 86,500 level. See how nice that is? That support level there, okay? Then we lose that. We'll come down to the next level at 85,200. Then we'll come down to this level here. You're looking at 84,120. Then we have that big retest down here at 87,50 level, okay? So that's what we're looking at. So always look here to your left of your chart. Now, again, if we start losing, say, this 87.50 level, well, then what we'll do is we can come right down here to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 79.055. We'll come down here. We're looking at 78.495. We'll come to the bottom there at 76.390. But realistically, this is your big target then, 74.635, if we lose that 87.50 level. Okay, so right now we have this like a sideways consolidation, but that 8-day needs to rally up here and close above that 20-day and before we can get up. Now, see, low, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. See how we have this downtrending situation, okay? So we got to get back above that to go higher. So what we're looking at, first of all, is this 8-day, okay? So we're looking at 97.86. That's going to be very, very key. Then we'll come to the bottom of there. You're looking at 91,165. We'll look to the bottom of this candle, 91,405. We'll look to the top of Friday's, 92,995. But right here is the key, is at 93,276 level. We got to get this here to get that price above it. Then we can start striking out some of these nice good targets up here. We can look right there at that 96,145. We look to the bottom of this candle. You look at 97,905, and then we come to the bottom there, 99,250. And then we just keep on taking the candles up here. We have 94,230 level. We come up there, and we have what we're talking about, sorry about it, 495 level. Then we come down here, 101.20 level, and then we come to the bottom of this candle here at 102.610. But this is what you're going to be looking for then. It's going to be that 200-day at 103.640. So again, the key is if we can close above that 21-day, this is going to be your big target there at that 200 SMA here. But again, I always like to point out because we do have resistance going all the way and up here, so it's not going to go, hey, directly from here right to there, okay, unless there's some kind of a big catalyst. But now normally you're going to hit all these resistant levels before we can aim for that 200 SMA, okay? So right now, this is what we're watching. We're going to be watching Friday's candle, that 92,995, okay, on the high side, and 88,405 there on the downside. That's what we're trading against, but it needs to get back above that 8-day and that 21-day. Okay, that's going to be very, very strong resistance. If we can, we got a good shot at getting that 200-day simple moving average. Now, we look at this, okay? We got to this. We had these bottoming tail there. We had the bottoming tail. But if you look at this chart, see how we have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation. So we are trending up kind of situation. But we have to see how this all going to shake out here at the end of the year. Now, we got to an oversold condition. Now we're sitting at 41. This is not overbought or oversold. And the green now is over your red, shows momentum to the upside, which obviously we have. Okay, so we have a nice series of higher lows and higher highs going on here. But that 21-day, you can see how strong that is. Okay, see how strong that is? See how strong it is? So you have to respect that. Okay, here we have on a weekly chart. So now by Friday, we want to make sure that we hold that 100-day, that 84,877 level. Now you can see where we came down below on that that'll be 4 weeks ago here now, but we closed above. Okay, the previous week there we had a nice green candle, and even last week here we came down to the 100-day, but we've held it nicely. So far we have this inside week, but the market's been open for what? 20 seconds. Okay, so again, we rally up here. We can look at that 8-day, 97.41, and then we can go to your 50-day, then we have your 21-day, and then so on. But again, that 8-day is going to be very strong. But however, that doesn't mean that 8-day can't come down. We get above it, and it can turn pretty quick, kind of a situation. Now, We're only sitting at 39 here. The green is below your red here, but we're getting way at the bottom kind of a situation. What you need is just some buying come in. But really, by Friday, we just need to hold that 100-day. If not, we have that target there all the way at that 87.50 level. And then we have that target here at that 74.635. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ethereum. Okay, here we have Ethereum. Now you can see here how it got above that 21-day, but you notice that it just couldn't hold it. We put that topping tail candle situation, we put this, and then Friday we put that big ass red candle in there, and it held the 8-day, okay? So that's where we're sitting at right now. So on the downside, this is what you want to watch, 3034. That's going to be very, very key. We lose it, we're going to come right down to Friday's low, 29.93 level. Okay, so if we start losing that and we come around to the bottom of this candle, 28.89, we come down here, 28.55 level. Then we can venture down to this candle here, 27.90. We have 27.28 and your retest down there, 26.27. Now, if we lose this, all we have to do is look on a weekly chart. This is your big target right here, 24.60. Okay, now I'm not saying that's where it's going to go, but that would be the target if we lost that 26.27. Okay, now here on the upside, we got to get back to that 200-day. 3083. That's going to be very, very key. And this 21-day. Okay, that's going to be very, very key. We have to get back above that. Then we can start hitting that top of that candle, 3204. We'll come and hit this candle here at 3252. Okay, now obviously your big candle here is going to be that 50-day. That's going to be a big target, okay, situation. But if we can get above that, we also have resistance right here. Okay, so you look at the bottom, 3376. Look to the bottom, 3412. We look to the bottom there at 35.14, and then we can just take this top of this candle. You're looking at 31.54. Then we have, I looked at that wrong. Sorry about that. 35.71, and then we looked at 35.96. But this is going to be your big target. Is going to be that 50-day. But we have to close above that 50-day and that 200-day. We've got to get a good solid close. Now, I thought we almost had it right here, but the next day you can see where just a pop and a drop, could not hold it, held the 200-day, but then on Friday came right on down. So again, watch this key 8 SMA. That's going to be key. So what we're trading against is not only that 21-day, 200-day, and 8-day, but watch Friday's candle, okay? That high, 3204, the low, 29.93, and then that close at 3023, okay? That's going to be very, very key. Now, this is not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red. I can see we have upside momentum situation going here. But again, got to be very, very patient with this. That 8-day is going to be key. We got to hold that, and you got to get above that 21-day and that 200-day and that 21-day. Now, here we are on the weekly. Okay, so again, we are jammed up right here. You can look at this big indecision candle we had last week. But you got to get above that 3080, and we got to get above that 3087 at your 100-day and your 50-day. Get above that, then we have a target up here at 33,100, and then we have to see what the reaction is. But that doesn't mean that 8 days like it is here, once you get above it and cracks above it, that doesn't mean that can turn and go right on up, just like we had like on a Bitcoin situation. But again, be very, very patient with what we have. Okay, 43, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is still below your red, but it's working like a circus monkey here. You can see it's trying to go on the upswing, but again, be patient with this. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Let me bigger up a little bit. Okay, now, you can still see where we have this cup and we have this handle. Now, we tried to break out of this whole situation. Okay, we made that high at 42.99. And look what Friday's high is, 42.90. Okay, went right into it, but it couldn't close above it. That's the key. Okay, so right now what we want to watch is this on the upside is this 42.36. Okay, that is going to be your 8-day. Then we come up top of this candle here, 42.73. But realistically, what you're looking for is that 42.99 level. Okay, now when we look at this 42.50, that's also going to be key. Okay, but right now we got to get above that 42.99 level. Once we get above that, then we can attack this level here at that 43.46 and then 43.98. We crack this, you're going to 4,500. Okay, and you can work yourself all the way up to 5,000. But right now, we just have this sideways consolidation. So we start losing, okay, say that 8-day, then we'll come right down to the bottom here. You're looking at 42.03. We looked at the bottom there, 41.94 level. But realistically, what you're looking for is that 21-day at 41.54, that 50-day at 40.93. We had the retest down here, 39.81, and then we cut to the bottom of that candle at 39.01. Okay, that is what we have on gold. Now, for me, I have no trade in this right now. What I'm waiting for here is I'll be a little bit patient. I'm looking for a close above 42.99. Once you do, I'll jump into GLD and I'll take it to that 43.98 retest, and then we have to see where we go. I mean, do we crack through that, or does it double top and come on down? That's the key. What is the reaction if you can get it? But that'd be a nice trade from here to that level right there. So again, watch that 8-day, watch that 21-day, watch that 50-day, then watch the retest if we just sell out. Upside, just watch that 42.99. We got to crack above it in order to go to the next level. Now, 61, this is not overbought, oversold. The green is still over your red. Sideways kind of an action. Okay, but again, be patient with this kind of a situation. Now, if it happens to sell down and holds a 21-day, then you can also take that trade and buy support level, or even that 50-day. You can take that trade and take it right back up again. So there's two ways to trade gold on this for me. There is anyway. I'll buy it at support, okay, or I'll buy it when it's breaking out. Okay, just that simple. Okay, now silver. Silver's been actually a lot better trade lately. Okay, we've had this really nice, good run up. We have this solid sideways consolidation. We're looking for that 60 mark. We hit 59.90. Now, what I'm looking for on the upside is not this 59.90. I'm looking for 60 flat. You got to close above 60. Once you close above that even number, then we can start going to the 61, the 62, 63. Then you can go rally right on up. But I'm looking for that 60 before I jump back into the SLV. Now, here on the downside, what you're really watching is just watch this 8-day. That's going to be very key, 57.83. That's your support level. Then we're going to come down to the bottom here, 56.85 level. Then we can come here to the top of this candle. You're looking at that 54.41 level. We have 53.76. And then we're looking right here for that 21-day at that 53.46. But right now, sideways consolidation kind of a situation. Okay, but respect these simple moving average, because right here, see how nice it held the 21-day, came all the way down, held that 50-day, beautiful. Next day, held that 21-day, told me I got to take the trade, and really nice consolidation. So right now I'm looking for 60, then I'll jump right back in and take right off. Now again, if it comes down and keeps holding that 8-day, okay, I might jump in on that trade there too. You know what I'm saying? Silver just looks very, 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 very tempting, as I say right now. Now, we're almost at that overbought situation like we had here, but we're riding it here pretty good. So again, the green is over your red, so got to be a little patient with this. Wait for that 60 mark. Once you get above it, then we can go long. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. All right, here we have crude oil. Now, really, nothing has changed with this, okay? It's just basically a trade, okay? See this 50-day, very, very strong. Okay, so we couldn't get through it there, Now we're trying to work a little bit. Now, if you look at a seasonality chart, you can go on equityclock.com, or you can go on my playlist. I have seasonality charts for crude. You really want to buy this the first week of December, and you want to ride it for the first couple days of January, and then it goes flat till about February. Then you want to get right back into it until you take it up into that summer driving. And that's pretty much what's happening now. Now remember, crude can react to anything. So right now, the U.S. and Venezuela, they got a big conflict there going. They're trying to settle the between Ukraine and Russia. You know what I mean? They're blowing up boats, drug boats in the ocean there. So there's a lot of going on, which really will take crude up higher. Now, if we look at this 8-day, the 8-day is sitting right there at 59.78, and you're at 59.32. Okay, so right now the 8-day crossed over that 21-day. That's actually very, very bullish kind of a situation. So really what we're doing is now we're back really above this 8-day situation, the 50-day, which is good. Okay, so right now that's going to be your support right there, 59.86. Next level right there, 59.28. And then 59.32. I mean, it didn't cross over. I'm sorry about that. It didn't cross over. But it's getting very, very close to this whole situation. Okay. But right now, just watch that 50-day and then watch that 21-day and that 8-day. We start losing that. We come to the bottom there, 58.81. We come here, 58.37 level. We can venture down here to your 57.66 and then 57.10. That's going to be your big retest down here. Okay. Now, on the upside, we want to look at trade against this candle right here. Okay. So that 59.42 on the high, on the low, and then 60.50 on the high. So if we crack above that 60.50 level, then we can come up to the top of this candle. You're looking at 60.85, and then we have that 61.28. That's your retest, okay? Then we get above that, we just bring it right to the top of this candle here. You're looking at that 61.50 level. Then we can work yourself up here to that 100-day at 62.12, maybe 63.67, maybe up here 65.40, and then the big retest at 66.42. But right now, oil looks like it's got a really good bullish tendency, because right now we're above that 50-day. But again, this is early. Let's see how this kind of shake out here basically through the day. Okay, so right now, watch these price channels. See that price channel? 61.28 on the high, 57.10 on the low. So right now we're approaching that upside. Then we have to see what the reaction is. If it does get there, do we start going to the next level, next level, next level, and next level? Or does it hit that and then fade right back down again? Okay, so again, watch that 50-day, very, very key. 21-day, 8-day, we lose that, we come down here. We crack above this Friday's candle at that 60.50, we're going to go to that 61.28. Now, you're only sitting at 53. This is not overbought, oversold. The green is over your red. This is looking very, very good here to actually to go higher. And then we once that 8-day crosses over, which we're almost right there, that would send that price up at least to that level, maybe to that 100-day and the 200-day. Now, one thing about crude is any kind of a disruption, any kind of a anything like that, it'll send crude oil higher. Now, I got gas today at the Sam's Club, and wow, $2.50 a gallon, man. That's what I'm digging that. So I'm loading everything up I can, at $2.50 a gallon. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. All right, here we have the old natural gas. Okay, now you can see here, this is what we got. Okay, so there's your daily, and then here's your weekly right here on the bottom. Okay, so you can see here we hit that 549.60 level. What we're looking here to hold is right here was at 536 level. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So right now, what we're looking at right here, it's sitting at 513. It must have been a contract roll here, I think. Getting close here. Okay, so you hit a high of roughly 514 level. Okay, well, so your next level, what you're looking for right there is going to be that 536 level. Okay, and then we'll be looking for that say call it 550 level, and then we can do is we can come right down here. What do we have there to that bottom of that candle? You're looking at 572. We'll come down here. You're looking at 622, and then we can just venture this right on here. You're looking at a 627, and we have 710. We have 742, and then we have that 760 level all the way up there. So realistically, we got to get back above that 549 level. Then we can start hitting that 6 level and maybe even that 7 level. Okay. Now here on the downside, we're sitting right here, on top of all these candles. But the key support is going to be that right there, 4.96. See how nice once we get above that, how nice it holds. That's key right there. We start losing that, then we're going to come right down to that 466. That's your 21-day. And 21-day I call the old catch-all. Okay, so we got to see how that's going to be. But right now, we are trending up. So as long as we're above that 8-day, it's going to be sideways to up action. Okay, so remember, on the upside, look for 536, then look for the retest of 549. And then we can get above all that kind of thing, then your next level is going to be 572, and then we can work yourself all the way up here to that 6 mark here. Okay, now again, we have this weekly chart. See how this here? This is nothing but building energy, and that what we were looking for, that 490. Once you cracked about that, now we're moving up nicely. Now you can see all these simple moving averages. Look at how that 8-day crossed over, 21 days is going to be crossing over. Very, very bullish chart here on natural gas. Now, temperature here right now today, like where I am, is 20 degrees, okay? 20 degrees. But the ski resorts, oh man, they're loving it. I think it got a 20-some inch base now, almost 30-inch base that they're building on the snow. So this is really, really good. I think there's like 8 or 10 ski resorts around me. So they're just absolutely loving it, the whole situation, okay? But again, just if you're trading natural gas here, always look at a seasonality chart. It's usually pretty good all the way till the end of December. Then when it starts going into those future contracts, then it starts pulling back here. So, okay, so just trade that range. Watch that 8-day. Watch that 5.496. All right, that's all I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.